Hello and welcome to Weyermann's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this happy birthday card using the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. All the stamps are from this set. I've used the leaves, the flowers, the flower center, and the happy birthday greeting from the Sweet as a Peach set. When I first did this card, I did not have the Sahara Sand card base. I didn't have anything on it, and when I put it together I found it was a little plain. So what I did is I embossed the front of the card with the Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder. Usually I don't emboss the card base itself because the embossing can really soften the paper, but in this case the card mat and the card front are strong enough that it won't, it'll help improve the integrity of the card base. So I've used Blushing Bride, and I cut this to be 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then ran it through with the largest of the scalloped contour dies. And then the centerpiece is actually 4.5 by 3 1/4, so that it sits right in the middle like that. So I'll go ahead and start stamping. I just wanted to show you, this is my scrap paper where I was practicing doing this. And on the scrap paper you can check and see, did I want the happy birthday in the Sahara Sand or the Blushing Bride? And so I chose the Blushing Bride for this one. But the leaves are in Sahara Sand, which when you stamp it really does have that kind of underlying green tinge to it. So we're just stamping onto the card front, going around a couple of different places like that, and then coming in from the top like that. And once you stamp the flowers down, if you find that there's some gaps, you just add another flower. It's really forgiving, this card. So we're going to add the flowers in the Blushing Bride, and they are all 3 flowers are connected together, so they go exactly where they need to go to ink up the card. So there we go, and it fills in the gaps on the flowers perfectly. Okay, so we'll line that up and we'll pop that down like that. And then we'll come in on this one. We need to be like that. So you can tell there are some gaps in here. So I'm just going to come in, I'm going to add another flower there. And I'm going to add some more flowers there. And I'm going to pop the edge of a flower in there, just to add so there's not lots of gaps in there. And I'm going to stamp up ink up the happy birthday and stamp it in the top area of the card. And then I'll come in with the smoky slate and do the flower centers. I'm going to have a tissue at hand, because sometimes when you've got a really small stamp on a block, the block can rock into the ink pad, and you can end up getting lines. Like if it's almost like the shadow of a stamp, if you've over inked it, well, you can end up getting little lines across your card because you've got ink on your block. So that's why I'm kind of, as I'm inking it up, I'm having a look at it before I stamp it down to make sure that I don't have any of those lines. So we'll just keep popping in. And for me, these little flower centers just absolutely make this card. It's amazing the difference they make. So that's done in the smoky slate, and that's the card front. What I did is I just did a very, very, very light Sahara Sand with the blending brush, just to kind of add just a hint of blending at the bottom kind of just gives it a little bit of a patina without adding a lot of color to it. Just kind of takes the starkness off the white. And that, so we'll close that up. And then we're going to, whoops, there it did start. We're going to use the Stampin' Seal, and we'll attach it to the center of the card mat, and we'll just wiggle it just a little bit. It's not exactly the same all the way around. So then we take our dimensionals and we dimensional this onto the card front, or onto the card base, sorry. So we'll just do that. I'm going to put lots on because it'll help strengthen the front of the card. So I want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has been watching and commenting on my videos. I've really noticed an uptick in subscribers, so obviously you're liking what you're seeing, and thank you very much for taking the time to subscribe to the channel. I mostly post videos on Sunday morning, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoon. I am trying this week to see what happens if I post at 6 o'clock in the morning on my time on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, just to see if that makes a difference, if it gets to more people, or if 4 o'clock is a better time slot for everybody. So that's centered on the front of the card, and that is our happy birthday card using the Sweet as a Peach stamp set and the Parisian 3D or Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder. So thanks so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.